co-host Roger Stone with my well-dressed and turned-out colleague, Owen Schroyer. A little nostalgia there, a song written by the late, great Chuck Berry and recorded by the Rolling Stones in 1965. An extraordinary day across the board with news that Paul Ryan is reportedly going to step down after delivering a tax cut bill that, while it cuts the fundamental rates, a strong argument for passage, it is also larded up with sweeteners for Wall Street. So it is my view that Ryan, already under pressure because we have learned that he knew that the Awan brothers, the two Pakistani IT consultants hired by Congresswoman Deborah Wasserman Schultz, had penetrated the U.S. House of Representatives computer system as early as September. But he concealed that information from the American people until after the election. My sources also tell me that Ryan was fully aware of hedge fund operator Paul Singer, a liberal Republican's financing of the first iteration of the so-called dirty dossier, the phony dossier which falsely accused candidate Donald Trump of sexual shenanigans with prostitutes in his Moscow hotel room. We now know that to be entirely false. So under pressure in both of those scandals, I believe that the report by Politico is accurate, and despite his prevarications today, that Ryan will be stepping down. Interestingly enough, we also had a major development today in which a British court in the United Kingdom, a high court, ruled that WikiLeaks is a news organization, rejecting the argument that WikiLeaks is somehow a front for the Russian government. This is going to make the efforts to, wrong clip there, this is going to make the efforts by the CIA, there it is, to extradite Assange all the more difficult. Interestingly enough, also on this day, it was announced that Randy Credico, the former host at WBAI, who had, I believe it was, 4 extraordinary interviews with Julian Assange of WikiLeaks, was, unfortunately, I was compelled to tell the House Intelligence Committee that Credico was my confirming source, the journalist, who was able to ascertain the accuracy of a July 21st speech by Assange in which he said he had Clinton emails and he would publish them. Credico has elected to take the Fifth Amendment and refuse to testify for the House Intelligence Committee, viewing their proceeding as what it is, a witch hunt. Big breaking news across the board here with implications for the efforts to paint Assange as a foreign agent, which he is not. We have a lot more for you coming up on The War Room. I'm Roger Stone, Owen Schroyer, my co-host, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're in the right place. It's The War Room with my co-host, Owen Schroyer, and we're kicking globalist tail here at INFOWARS. A great time to remind you of our extraordinary Christmas week specials at the INFOWARS store. This is the perfect place to shop for the liberty-oriented patriots in your circle of friends and family, and extraordinary sales going on now for the Christmas holidays. My particular favorite, the entire Super Blue fluoride-free line of oral products, including their incredible toothpaste, available in 2 flavors. The younger people in my family prefer the bubble gum flavor. Others prefer the original, but now 50% off on these terrific products. Help us, help you, help finance the revolution, help us continue this extraordinary expansion, which Alex Jones has mapped out. Last time I was in Austin, I saw the incredible state-of-the-art new studios that are being constructed, and we don't want to slow down in our efforts to bring you even better and more coverage of the American political scene. So please, folks, go to the INFOWARS store for all your Christmas shopping. You know, one of Stone's rules is that a man is known by the enemies he makes. Incredibly, some of you may know that Donald Trump and I are being sued in the courts in the District of Columbia on the phony allegation that I worked with the Russians to hack the Democratic National Committee and give the email that were the fruits of this alleged hack to WikiLeaks. Well, now, incredibly, 14 former national intelligence officials, including John Brennan, Jim Clapper, and Mike Hayden, 3 certified members of the Shaved Head Club, have come forward filing an amicus brief in that phony lawsuit, continuing their phony claim that the Russians interceded and interfered and affected the outcome of the 2016 election. This is just as bogus as they are, but one has to wonder why men of this incredible stature are intervening in this lawsuit. My lawyers remind me that my past due legal bills are mounting to fight this frivolous harassment suit. The Project for Democracy, an Obama-blessed left-wing front group, is using the suit against the president and I to raise money. If you want to give a Christmas present to the Stone household, you can go to stonedefensefund.com. That's stonedefensefund.com and help. We have a roughly $500,000 legal bill, but I refuse to fold. I refuse to quit fighting. And now that Brennan, the proven perjurer, the liar Clapper, who told the Congress under oath, oh no, there's no American metadata collection system, only to be proved to be a liar by Edward Snowden. And of course, Mike Hayden, in this cross-section of villains, they want to get it on. So I am ready to fight, but I need your help to do it. So this Christmas season, go to the INFOWARS store, go to stonedefensefund.com and give us the help we need. Owen, it's an extraordinary day in the Stone household.
Well, Roger, when I saw this, obviously they want to shut us up. And so I think the reason why they're taking this next step right now with this lawsuit and signing the big names with this brief with the Clappers and the Brennans and the Haydens is the truth that's coming out about the Russian, the dossier, the investigation, the committee, everything. It's so big, it's so breaking, it's so bombshell to everything that they've been saying and trying to do for the last year that this to me is their last desperate attempt to try to call us off reporting on it. They think that, and as you just said, you're not afraid, you're not going to stop reporting on it. That was their goal here. I really think that they thought that they could make you submit, make INFOWARS submit, make everyone submit, because they're going to try to come after us here. But the truth of the matter is, even if they shut us down, even if they shut Roger Stone down, you can't stop this truth from getting out. Everybody knows what you did with this Russian dossier. These people are the phonies, Roger.
No, I think you're exactly right. If this was meant to silence me, it has the opposite effect. They don't seem to know that my mother was Sicilian. I will never stop fighting the deep state. And my lawyers have reviewed their amicus brief. Oh, and once again, they offer no proof. It's the same old crap over and over again. The Russians did it. The Russians did it. They have no evidence whatsoever. Oh, the Russians used, as Comey said under oath, some kind of cutout. Sounds pretty bogus to me. Julian Assange is a journalist. WikiLeaks is a news organization. They do the same thing that the Washington Post and the New York Times do. They obtain information and they publish it. The difference between WikiLeaks and Assange and the New York Times and the Washington Post is nothing Assange has ever published has been questioned in terms of its authenticity or its accuracy. My liberal friends loved WikiLeaks when it was George W. Bush's administration they were busting, but now suddenly they're a Russian asset. It's the same old deep state baloney.
Well, what infuriates me so much about this, Roger, and I can only imagine how you feel, well, obviously they're trying to indict, via this brief, basically INFOWARS and really anyone who supported Trump. I mean, in their exact words, nationalists, militias, activists, journalists unwittingly became Russian agents. So they're blaming all Trump supporters essentially for this. But this is what really rubs me the wrong way, Roger. The lawsuit, by my understanding, filed by the 3 private citizens, I won't give their personal names out as public information, but I won't do that, are saying they want to sue because their personal information got stolen because of the hack of the DNC. But Roger, here's the problem. This is why I don't think they want this to go to court. This is just an intimidation and a news spin tactic. Roger, if this thing went to court, the Democrat National Committee is not going to be able to hold those servers anymore. They're going to have to turn their servers over. That's something that they've avoided throughout this entire thing. How conveniently. The very evidence that would show their claims to be true or false, they won't show you. So if this went to court, they would actually have to turn that over for the first time. That is, if they haven't destroyed them already.
No, Owen, I think that's exactly right. So I think understanding that the congressional inquiry into Russian collusion has come up completely empty, this lawsuit was filed as a fishing expedition. But you're right, it will now boomerang on them. Should we go to trial, it will be incumbent on them to prove that the DNC was hacked and that I had something to do with it, which, of course, I didn't. The whole thing is fraudulent, but it's an intimidation tactic. I can tell you this about Alex Jones, myself, INFOWARS, we will not be intimidated, not even an iota of a chance. We will fight to the death to preserve our liberty and support and preserve constitutional government. I'm not going to be run over by the deep state steamroller. That I can assure you. But I must tell you, going to your mailbox and getting an invoice from your lawyers for $500,000 can be a riveting experience, to say the least.
And these are the type of attacks that we come under every day here, folks. Honestly, you wouldn't even believe the stuff of the type of attacks that come here, that come at Roger, that come at Alex Jones. It's nonstop, and it's all in an attempt to shut us down. And that's why your support at InfoWarsStore.com is paramount. So don't let the deep state shut us down. Continue to support us at InfoWarsStore.com, and we will continue to expand. And you have our pledge that we will never back down from these anti-American corrupt establishments that are lying to us about President Trump.
Welcome back to the War Room with your hosts, Roger Stone and Owen Schroyer. We are clearly now turning the corner, and the forces of freedom, the forces of truth, have had an extraordinary 2 weeks as the so-called Mueller investigation begins to disintegrate before our very eyes, and the naked partisanship and the bias of the Get Trump squad is revealed to all. A stunning new poll by the Harvard and Harris organizations reveal that 54% of Americans believe that the Mueller investigation is biased against the president. That's an extraordinary statistic, particularly when you consider that at least half, if not more, of the mainstream media continue to try to maintain the fiction of Russian collusion. The performance by Rod Rosenstein, longtime Mueller and Comey protege, a man who got his first job as an attorney from Mueller, was a sight to behold. Rosenstein bobbed and weaved like nothing I've ever seen. When asked directly if he could see the grounds for the firing of Mueller, he said, and I quote, "I don't see it." This guy has all the acuity of Stevie Wonder. It's abundantly clear based on the texts, based on the contributions, based on the leaked emails, that this is a nakedly partisan takedown of the president. Now, yesterday, there was a story in Vanity Fair, which had an unfortunate headline. I am working on collecting material for a book about the deep state's impending attempted takedown of the president in an illegitimate coup. I never said that I was writing a book about the downfall of the president. It's not certain that they will take him down. Donald Trump can certainly still save himself merely by appointing directing the attorney general to appoint a special counsel in the matter of Uranium One. So this is a book I am hoping I don't ever have to write, but given all of the developments in the last few weeks, I am going to memorialize what is the most extraordinary coup attempt since 1963 and 1974. Again, the working title for such a book is The Unmaking of the President. If you want to get the precursor, you can go right now to the INFOWARS store and order my book, The Making of the President 2016, the extraordinary story of how Donald Trump pulled off the greatest upset in American political history. A terrific price on this book right now, a savings of $5, only $19.95. If you're a political junkie and you want to know how Donald Trump pulled off his come-from-behind victory and shocked the two-party political establishment, this book is a must-read. Also in the book, we memorialize the important role that INFOWARS played in as the tip of the spear, particularly in the nomination phase, and how Alex Jones ingeniously took the iconic Bill Clinton rape T-shirt and used it as a metaphor to bust up the mainstream media blackout of Bill Clinton's record as a sexual harasser and rapist. You may recall in an ingenious stroke that Alex Jones personally put up $1,000 to anyone who could be depicted on television wearing the T-shirt, and $5,000 to anyone who managed to blurt out Bill Clinton is a rapist. Folks, Alex Jones paid out over $250,000 to courageous patriots who helped drive the truth message about Bill Clinton. You can get this iconic T-shirt, which will end up in the Smithsonian, folks, now at the INFOWARS store. When these run out, there will be no more. This is a collector's item that you will want to have this Christmas. So, folks, help us, help yourself, and help spread the truth about the Clinton crime family. So, Owen, it is so fast-breaking the way the entire Mueller thing is disintegrating before our very eyes. And I think some kudos must go to the people at Judicial Watch who've done a superb job of using the courts to ferret out the truth about the Mueller investigation. But a reporter for CNN told me today that the Justice Department has been putting out these emails and has allowed the members of the media to examine texts and emails and other pieces of evidence which point to the naked partisan nature of the Mueller probe. If this is true, it would be the first thing that the Trump Justice Department has done to actually help Donald Trump. Now, the president's lawyers have very clearly told him that he's not allowed, and it's not proper for him to give direction to the Justice Department. That's false. The Justice Department is an expansion of the executive branch, where the president has full authority. Now, it would be improper for him to give the Justice Department instructions pertaining to investigations of Donald Trump himself. But in the matter of Uranium One, a treasonous multi-million-dollar crime, the president is under no such restriction. The way to bring down the Mueller, Comey, McCabe, Rosenstein conspiracy is to get an honest prosecutor to pursue the matter of Uranium One. I really think that this is the best path for the president.
Well, and when you're talking about all of this news that's coming out with Judicial Watch, you know, I had this thought last night, Roger, especially when and it kind of resurfaced when I see that these ex-intelligence officials want to sue Roger Stone. Intelligence officials. I had this thought last night. You know, the quote-unquote intelligence community, or, you know, this is what they like to say. We are the new intelligence community. INFOWARS is the new intelligence community. Roger Stone, Alex Jones, Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch, Sarah Carter, Circa News. I mean, even people now on, I have to give Fox News credit. They're not perfect. They still blackball people from going on air and stories, but still, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity. I mean, this is the new intelligence agency. The new intelligence agency is actually just citizens. The new intelligence agency is just patriots who do the deep research, who read the WikiLeaks, who follow Project Veritas. That's the new intelligence agency. Brennan, Clapper, and all of these former quote-unquote intelligence officials, that's the non-intelligence community. That's the secret intelligence community. That's the keep you ignorant intelligence community. We are the new intel community.
Welcome back. You're at the War Room, my fellow Americans, and any of those who are watching us internationally. We do want to squeeze in a few of your calls here for either Owen or myself or both of us, and that number is 1-888-201-2244. 1-888-201-2244. This is one of my favorite parts of the War Room, when we get to have a dialogue with the Info Warriors, and we have a little bit of time today for calls. So please go right to the phone and phone in your inquiry now. We'd be happy to take some of your questions. Owen, where do you think the Mueller investigation is headed? Because I am one who believes that the president's lawyers are giving him happy talk, that they are lulling him into a false sense of security. Only last night, the president told an acquaintance of mine, a friend of mine, that he expects a letter from Mueller clearing him entirely in the Russian collusion matter imminently. As an observer of the political scene and a student of the deep state, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, Roger, I'm not sure where the Mueller investigation really goes from here, because I don't think there's anywhere else they can go. They've got the 3 indictments, or they've got the 3 people, the names that we knew that they had. Flynn, Papadopoulos, Manafort, we knew that was coming. That's what they ended up doing. But what were the path that it's almost kind of blazed a trail of its own here, where here this probe, this committee, whatever you want to call it, special counsel, was supposed to be looking into Trump's corruption, looking into the Russia thing and all that. Well, it's turned up nothing as far as that's concerned. But what have we learned? We've learned about the collusion between the FBI and the DOJ and the Obama administration. And we learned now, Roger, this is about to be huge. So what the latest information that's coming out because of the Russian probe is that Peter Strzok and James Comey both actively worked to make sure that Hillary Clinton was not charged and indicted. Now, how did they do that? Well, first you had James Comey say, well, actually, I think it was first, I think it was Loretta Lynch who said this is a matter not an investigation. Then you had Peter Strzok change the terminology from grossly negligent, which is illegal, that's a chargeable offense, to carelessly mishandled or something. Then you have James Comey changing the terminology about going in to investigate the emails. That came out during the Comey testimonies. Now it's all kind of being put together with what we're learning about Strzok, what we're learning about the DOJ, what we're learning about the Obama administration and Comey. I mean, this is the real collusion. And it's what's amazing about this, Roger, because it appears the entire thing was all about Hillary Clinton. It was all about getting Hillary elected and protecting Hillary Clinton from prison for all the illegality of her private server. That's the most amazing thing about this.
Yeah, it's an open and shut case of obstruction. Wasn't it Mick Jagger who said every cop is a criminal? What happened to the days when we admired the FBI and we viewed them as an example of public integrity, and we admired the courage and the patriotism and the honesty of the G-men? That has all entirely been sullied under Mr. Mueller and then Mr. Comey. Sadly, the FBI has been politicized, and now it's there in black and white for everyone to see. It is an extraordinary turn of events, but the forces of truth are on the move. When 54% of the American people can see that the Mueller investigation is corrupted and nakedly partisan, that is itself shows you where this is headed. I don't believe that the president's going to be cleared. I still believe that Mueller will attempt to bring some kind of a trumped up a process crime against the president, perjury or obstruction of justice. But I'm growingly confident that the American people will see through this incredible charade and see what this is: a naked attempt to undo the results of the last presidential election. The two-party duopoly that have run this country into the ground are still reeling from the fact that Donald Trump, a complete outsider, a man of enormous courage and bravery, a man who is both unbought and unbullied, a man you just can't push around, broke through and utilized alternative media to pull off the greatest upset in American history. They want to undo what they couldn't do at the ballot box. And as I have said here and in multiple interviews this week, if Mueller shoots and misses, well, then we're back to plan B. The establishment plans a 25th Amendment coup against the president. That's why your friend Don Lemon and Joe Scarborough and others keep harping on this absurd notion that the president's crazy, he's unstable, he's mentally unfit. Well, he's the same man I've known for 40 years. He's sharp as a tack. He has not lost a step. He was a brilliant businessman, and he is doing a phenomenal job of making America great again, despite the implacable resistance of the two-party elites in Washington. Now, many people believe that a 25th Amendment move on the president would require a secret deal between the vice president and Paul Ryan. You see, if Trump were bumped out of the office and the vice president, Mike Pence, were to rise to the presidency, he gets to appoint a vice president, subject to confirmation by the U.S. Senate. Has he made a deal with Paul Ryan, as some believe? At this point, anything is possible. When I learned that Ryan knew all about the incursion by the Awan brothers, the two Pakistani IT consultants, into the House of Representatives computer system, where they stole $16 million, and they obtained the email traffic of 45 members of Congress. And Ryan withheld that information from the American people until after the election. Well, now I believe Paul Ryan is capable of anything.
Well, here's the thing, Roger, to me. The way that this whole thing has gone, And if I just go with the patterns and trends of everything we've seen in the past, and we're going to take your calls on the other side of this break, Trump's year anniversary in office is, I think it's January 18th, is his year anniversary as president. He promised Alex Jones give him 1 year. I have a feeling that with everything we've seen in the past couple of weeks, exposing the FBI, exposing Strzok, exposing Mueller, exposing his whole team, exposing McCabe, they've all been exposed on the back end as kind of a sub-exposition of Hillary Clinton and her emails and everything they did to cover that up to get her into office. I mean, that's the thing. That's really what happened here. Cover up Hillary Clinton's crimes to get Hillary Clinton into office and then cement any investigation over that would have been done into those crimes. Well, now it's all been brought to the public eye, whether wittingly or unwittingly, by Trump and this Mueller investigation, and it can't be put back in the bottle. This genie's not going back in the bottle. The super blue fluoride-free toothpaste is not going back in the bottle. And I really think, Roger, I'm really to a point now, I'm more confident than ever that by Trump's year anniversary in office, there is going to be a major pendulum shift back on to the corrupt Democrats that they simply do not see coming. So we take a break now. This is the War Room. Roger Stone takes your phone calls on the other side. Don't go anywhere, and please support us at InfoWarsStore.com. It's Christmas week. Big specials. Welcome back to the War Room. It is the most wonderful time of the year. Not just Christmas, but the Democrats are being totally exposed as the frauds and the partisans that they are. Let's go to the phone lines here. Roger Stone is still with us. Your questions and calls for Roger Stone at 888-201-2244. Let's start with Eric calling in from Florida. Eric, you're on the air with Roger Stone.
Hey, Roger, how you doing? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, I just wanted to make a comment, that the rephrasing from, like, the criminal to, well, grossly negligent to excessively careless. There's some footage out there. It was Judge Neil Patanov, if that's pronounced right. It had to have been, like, on the Fox channel. And he said that there is no difference between those two phrases. So I don't know if it can be found, if that's something to use. But hey,
well, I will tell you that if I don't know of the report that you're referencing, but I can tell you if it was Fox, they've completely changed 180 on that. Roger, what are you hearing about the phrasing?
No, the caller's absolutely right. Judge Napolitano made the case that Hillary could have been prosecuted for negligence. That was still a prosecutable crime. So this attempt to soften it was clearly just an attempt to get her off the hook and get through the election. The reason that all of these FBI agents and other Department of Justice officials were using their official emails and their telephones to exchange these incriminating messages because they were confident that Hillary would win and they'd be able to cover it all up. Guess what? It's all coming out now. Thank you so much for your call, Eric. Let's go to our next caller.
Next caller is going to be Robert in Washington, the state of Washington. Go ahead, Robert.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I just have a couple requests. One, I don't know if you guys have seen the new Trumpo movie, short little clip that's out. I think it would be awesome to play that on the back screen behind Owen. It's hilarious. Number two, an idea for a shirt would be the Clinton body count. I saw a picture today on the internet that had all the names of all the people supposedly killed by the Clintons or had something to do with them. And you guys do an awesome job. I got to get into a meeting. Love your guys' show. And if you could pass the word on to Alex, he needs to play The Highwaymen, Raised in Black and White. The lyrics say it all. It's a great song. He always plays The Highwayman. I love the show. You guys do a great job. And have a great Christmas, you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Robert. What do you think, Roger? How about a Clinton body count shirt? You've already got the Bill Clinton rape shirt. Why not double down?
Well, I like the idea. The problem is it would have to always be an extra, extra large shirt to get all the names in.
That's
but
true. Yeah, otherwise we'll have to make the font so small you can't even read the names. It'll be like the fine print.
It'd be like the telephone book for Greater Austin. Look, the video I think that the caller refers to is this hysterical Talking Heads parody featuring Donald Trump. It's extremely well put together. I don't think it was meant as a pro-Trump meme, but it's most entertaining. Perhaps we can show it on the War Room tomorrow evening. Let's back to the phones.
Yeah, let's take another call. Let's go to Tyler calling in from Maryland. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Excellent.
First off, I just want to say I've been watching your show for about a year and a half now, and I just wanted to thank you guys for kind of waking me up. I was never really politically active for most of my life until I got into college, and then I kind of realized when I started watching your show, I always hear, INFOWARS is terrible, INFOWARS is garbage. So I was like, okay, I'll watch it, see what it's about. And then I kind of learned about the whole anti-white agenda, globalization, how they kind of want to just have a global cesspool, just mix all the races and everything. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to thank you guys for waking me up. I think your content is amazing. But I had one question. I know net neutrality got repealed, and all I've heard constantly is that net neutrality, like repealing net neutrality is terrible. It should never happen. It just happened today. Can you just kind of explain, what it's about and, what would be the repercussions of repealing it?
I'd be happy to field this one. Look, everything that you're hearing is completely backwards. The current net neutrality regulations only guarantee net neutrality for the ISP carriers. That means Verizon, AT&T, Comcast. They're tightly regulated. They can't deny you access. But the current net neutrality rules in no way regulate the content providers. Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Google. They can censor anyone they want. They can silence conservative and liberty-oriented voices. We need to guarantee equal access to the content providers. And therefore, the Soros-backed Google forces have grabbed our mantra. They're against net neutrality when it comes to content, therefore censorship. The new rules, which have been very boldly put forward by FCC Chairman Ajit Pai, actually guarantee free access and your constitutional protection of First Amendment liberties on the internet. So amen for the FCC. Everything you read about this is, in essence, backwards.
Yeah, and I think Ajit Pai is doing a great job. And for those that are concerned about, they think that this is going to stop potential, I don't even know, just basically corruption of the internet is what these people are freaked out about. Oh, now the internet's going to be corrupted. Oh, and it's like, no. He just wants to make sure it stays free. That's the big difference. The corruption is going to end up being handled by a different department. That's another thing that Ajit Pai is talking about. Let's take another call for Roger Stone here. Let's go to Irene calling in from New Jersey. You're on the air with Roger Stone. Go ahead.
Hi. Hello?
Hi. Yes, hello.
Oh,
yes.
Hi. How are you? This is Irene. I'm sorry. I wasn't listening for a second. Were you calling me? Were you putting me on?
You're on
You're
right
on,
now.
Irene.
Perfect.
What's your question?
Hi, Roger. I wanted to talk to you about this phony council. It's driving me absolutely crazy. I think the only way that we are going to be able to get Mr. Trump out of this is if the people go to bat for him and start calling, the two leaders of the House and demanding that they end this. It's not right, and they're never going to stop until they get rid of the president. It's like them or him, and they know they're all criminals. So they have to get him on anything they can get him on. And if the people don't rise up about this, we got to help them.
Well, Irene, I couldn't agree with you more. And thank God Almighty for Jim Jordan and Ron DeSantis and Matt Gaetz and Trey Gowdy. These guys are truth tellers, and they have been boring in on the entire bias and partisanship of the Mueller effort and the clearly illegitimate attempt to take down our president in some kind of phony coup. Donald Trump is a fighter. He's a fighter, but you're right. He needs our support. So you can call the Capitol switchboard, 202-224-3121. That's 202-224-3121. Call your congressman, your senator today, and demand that this phony investigation be disbanded.
And Irene, let me just say this. I know you had another comment to make, but let me just say this. It'll be a lot harder for them to continue this anti-Trump witch hunt they're calling a special counsel into Russian collusion when a lot of these guys on the team have either lost their jobs or are in jail.
Yeah,
Irene, what was your other comment?
But this is the thing. Those legislative hearings never go anywhere. So I would really hope that you guys and Alex would just remind people every single day to just badger our congressmen to death and tell them we want this stopped. It's not right. And we want the real people actually to go to jail because they let everybody get away all the time. So that's the only thing. I mean, I hope you guys will support that and then just remind people on a daily basis. And Owen, I think you're great. You're a really brave guy.
Yes, he is.
Thank you for the call.
You're the only one on this show who's had guns pointed at him in the last 10 days. So my hat's off to you, Owen. You're a brave patriot facing down the Antifa thugs single-handedly. In the future, don't go out there alone, okay?
Well, we all have to play our role in this, Roger. Everybody's got to stick their neck out there somewhere. You get sued, you pile up these legal bills. I go out on the street and masked thugs point guns at me and try to intimidate me out of my right to free speech. But we just keep fighting, Roger, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Roger, final words before we sign off till tomorrow. Or you sign off.
Yes, absolutely. Folks, please go to the INFOWARS store and give us the support we need for our planned expansion so you get a bigger